Zhu Yuan has finally made her return to Zenless Zone Zero with her rerun banner in 1.6. She's currently our only Ether DPS unit in the game, making her a valuable one to pull for this patch, but I know a lot of you are hesitating to do so because Vivian, our first Ether Anomaly agent, is dropping in 1.7. That's understandable, because if we take a trip down memory lane to banners 1.4 and 1.5, we remember that a legendary Frost Anomaly unit power crept our fellow 1.0 Ice attacker, and a lot of you don't want to make the mistake with investing into the wrong unit. Well, don't worry, because I got you covered. In this video, we're going to be talking about the value and still pulling for Zhu Yuan by covering her pros and cons, discussing the units that you need in order to make this a smart decision for you, and we'll be explaining how Zhu Yuan and Vivian could potentially coexist with one another. To get started, let's quickly go over how Zhu Yuan works. Zhu Yuan is an Ether attack unit that specializes in burst DPS. What this means is that majority of her damage is dealt during stun windows. We know this through her core passive, which buffs her enhanced shot shells by 40% when she's under suppressive mode and buffs them again by an additional 40% when enemies are stunned. So with this in mind, you want to make sure that Zhu Yuan is paired with strong stun units more often than not, because this will allow her to reach her max DPS potential more often. Now what's tricky about Zhu Yuan is that players need to learn how to properly manage her ammo reserves for her shot shells. This is because Zhu Yuan's DPS significantly drops off when she's out of ammo, so you want to avoid this as much as possible. How you're able to do this is by understanding what mechanics reloads her magazine, which are her quick assist, defensive assist, dodge counter, assist follower, basic attacks 4 and 5, EX special attack, and her ultimate. That was a lot, wasn't it? As we can see, she has a lot of ways to reload her magazine, so as the player you have a bit of freedom to take advantage of those core systems and play Zhu Yuan how you would like. She's a unit that's pretty flexible with her rotation because of her amazing movement that seamlessly transitions to her DPSing through her suppressive mode, allowing her to adjust against enemies on the fly. This is what I love about Zhu Yuan so much. Her combat survivability is still one of the best in the game, and is probably one of the main reasons why she's maintained her meta position for so long. She's also a unit that's very easy to invest into, as you build her like any crit based DPS, and she can take advantage of free to play W engines options like Brimstone, Starlight, and Mercado Desire. So when it comes to playing and building her, I think most free to play players won't have any issues with Zhu Yuan, as she's free to play friendly on those fronts. Before you think about spending any polychrome on her though, I think it's very important that you have specific units on your account in order to truly bring out her performance in the current state of the game. It's also important that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. All the support goes a long way, and if you haven't yet, be sure to join the Discord to join the Soul Society family. We're trying to get it more active there and make it a great chill out spot for everyone that loves Zenless and just gaming in general. But I don't want to hold you guys up any longer. Again, I appreciate all you guys' support, but let's get back to the video. When it comes to team building with Zhu Yuan, it's really easy to make a team for her, as she has many options currently available. I know a lot of creators like to point out that she works well with free-to-play units Ambi and Nicole, which is true, but I believe at this stage of the game, you have to be willing to pull for stronger limited units to provide Zhu Yuan a sustainable future. More specifically, a limited stunner. Currently right now, Zhu Yuan's best option for stun units are Qingyi and Trigger. This is because both units buff the stun damage multiplier, directly increasing the amount of damage enemies take from Zhu Yuan's enhanced shot shells. This means that both units benefit her quite a bit, but because they build days differently, they will require you to play Zhu Yuan differently as well. When playing with Qingyi, Zhu Yuan is only required to come on field when enemies are stunned. This is because Qingyi is an on-field stunner that substantially increases the stun damage multiplier only during stun windows. This is good for Zhu, as it allows her to easily build and save resources, so she'll always have access to her EX special and ultimate during each stun window. Trigger, on the other hand, is an on-field stunner that increases the stun damage multiplier a lot less than Qingyi, but her buff is applied when enemies are in and out of stun. This requires Zhu Yuan to be a lot more active on field, so you're going to be using a lot more of her resources on this team in comparison to a team with Qingyi. Now, if this was still early Zenless, you would think that this means Zhu Yuan would underperform, as she receives most of her damage increases during stun windows, but we've learned over time that with proper ammo management and the fact that units like Trigger offer quick assist so often, Zhu Yuan can actually keep up her DPS outside of stun and still position herself to have ammo reserves available during stun. This is especially true with her support counterparts Nicole and Astra, who substantially increase her DPS performance due to the buffs that they provide, as well as the amount of quick assist that they offer as well. What's great about this is that both supports work with either stunner you pick for Zhu Yuan's team, making building the comps you need for her really easy and even free to play friendly. Just to give you guys some comp ideas, you can do Qingyi Nicole Zhu Yuan, Trigger Nicole Zhu Yuan, Zhu Yuan Astra Qingyi, Trigger Zhu Yuan Astra, and even Zhu Yuan Astra Nicole. All of these units provide so much support for Zhu Yuan, allowing her to remain as a competitive unit in the meta for both Deadly Assault and Shiyu. Nicole is a free unit that everyone has access to, leaving you with one slot left to fill for the team. If you have the polychromes, one of her stun options is available on banner right now with Trigger. So if you're in need of an ether DPS and you don't mind investing into her, Zhu Yuan is a really strong option to go for, especially with the teams I listed in mind. Now I know with all this information that doesn't settle everyone's mind, because I know a lot of you are still wondering, how will Zhu Yuan be able to coexist if Vivian is releasing next patch? Well, this comes down to speculations and a lot of information going around the community to help us realize this. If we take a look at the new disc drive set, Faithless Melody, we are able to assume that Vivian will actually be an off-field ether DPS unit. This is due to the 4-piece set bonus stating when any squad member uses an EX special, the equipper's anomaly proficiency increases by 45 for 8 seconds. If the character using the EX special attack is not the equipper's ether damage is increased by 25%. This description shows that this set wants the equipper to be a unit that plays more of an off-field role. This is good for Zhu Yuan because this means that the role both characters will play and the teams that they will be a part of will potentially be substantially different. We can assume this based on what happened before with fire units Soldier 11 and Bernice. When Bernice was introduced to the game, the teams that she wanted to be a part of were none of Soldier 11's teams unless it meant that her and Soldier 11 were going to be played on a team together. This is because Bernice plays an off-field role, requiring an on-field DPS to still be present on her team. She's also an anomaly unit and they love being paired with other anomaly characters, so a lot of times Bernice would rather be a part of teams with units like Jane Doe and Yanagi. So similar to Soldier 11 and Bernice, Zhu Yuan and Vivian could potentially be in a similar situation where their desired teams don't involve one another unless you place them on the same squad together. This will allow them to happily coexist within the meta because there will be less overlap with the team comps that they want to play in, providing more of a playstyle choice for players rather than just a stronger and better version of the previous DPS. Now, this doesn't mean that Vivian won't outperform Zhu Yuan, because this will more than likely happen, but because of how their team comps are structured and the role that they play as DPS are very different, the impact that Vivian will have as being the stronger DPS shouldn't be as potent. Again, this is if Vivian ends up playing that off-field anomaly position that we're speculating that she will. Now, of course, I do expect Vivian to desire a unit like Astra or even Nicole, but these units are so universal that this doesn't specifically target or affect Zhu Yuan alone, because every DPS loves both of these units. All in all, due to the type of ether DPS they are, they could potentially coexist with one another like our fire units we mentioned before, making the decision up to you on who you want to invest into. To keep it safe though, I highly suggest waiting to pull for Zhu Yuan towards the end of the patch, as we'll be getting a live stream for 1.7 that will be going over Vivian's kit in the next couple of weeks. That'll help you make the best decision on who you should actually pull for, allowing you to enjoy either units without any regrets. But that's everything that I have for you guys today. Zhu Yuan is a strong agent that I believe will exist within the meta a lot longer than probably most players think. She's a character that continues to shine as the game continues to grow, and unlike other elements, Aether's potential performance is a lot higher than others. The only downside to Zhu Yuan is that she's a 1.0 unit, so her multipliers will eventually catch up to her in the future. This is an inevitability that every unit will face as the game continues to get updated and new characters join the roster. But hopefully by then we'll start to see some character buffs for units by that time. If you plan on picking up Zhu Yuan though, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear who else is going to become a Zhu Yuan main. She's actually one of my favorite DPSs in the game, and I currently use her almost every day whenever I'm doing clears for daily or Shiyu. Anyways though, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Again, join the Discord if you haven't yet, and always remember to believe in you that believes in yourself. I'll see you guys in the next one.